Hello everyone, this is Dr. Shijun Wang. In today's video, I'm going to continue working on the Chopin First Ballade, Opus 23. In the last video, the previous one, we stopped at measure 35. So today I'm going to just pick up from measure 36. Here we just had a pretty big cadence on G minor, yeah, from here. From here, I think it's, to put it lightly, if we call this the same texture as a string quartet, right? We had on top, and then these two note slurs in the middle, and then this harmonic foundation, and of course. So yes, this whole part is slow, and we have to keep it going, right? We can't just sit and smell each roses. But really, between the right hand and left hand, it's quite tricky in these four measures. First of all, the downbeat is never in this area. The downbeat is never a kind of stereotype downbeat where we go downward. The downbeat is an upward motion. It's a pick up, right? When the string plays this, it has to be a up bow instead of a down bow. And when I teach my students, this is probably one of the hardest things to explain and for them to get, and because the keys are really below our hands. And how do we play up, right? Because the keys are not there. I think here, when we say up, we're not talking about fingertips. We're talking about the whole arm motion. If the whole arm motion is going down, and I'm playing down, then that's a kind of a very heavy foundation. But notice how my arm is actually lifting when I play, or before or during my fingertips playing this note. So it's really, of course, you have to go down, but then the fingertips goes down while the arm weight is lifting, so that it's not so heavy. And it's especially handy when we have this up motion, this upward motion during this note, because then we just travel to the top 2 octaves, right? We have to travel somewhere. And here in the right hand, the top voice, yes, we stop on one note on the third and the second part of the third beat, and then we have to hold it for the entire next downbeat, which means really Chopin is kind of trying everything to eliminate the feeling of downbeat, right? The downbeat is held, it's a tied note. So here, we still need to hear that, but it didn't appear on the downbeat. Yeah, that would be, of course, terrible, but that will make the whole feeling different. And left hand, this two note slur really, I've played so many Bach pieces that has this two note slurs, right? People give them different names. the sigh motives or the tear dropping motives, and really it gives you this this feeling, and here somehow with that held third beat, it gives me a feeling of longing for something. And here gives me in despair. Right? Everything is in vain. So really between the two hands, they're not having a agreement. And we have this very diligent cello playing the up bow, playing this kind of up feeling for the downbeat. Here, artitato, exactly same harmonic progression, but then Chopin added just one thing, a accent on the second beat, and then he eliminated that tight note so that the last note you no longer need to hold, which means first of all, now the focus is on the second beat and solely on the second beat. And also between the two hands, they have now a agreement. They're going somewhere together. And here, when we get to this, I think with the piumoso, with the left hand. Of course, this is one of the climax at the beginning. Here, it's definitely more heroic. Yeah, it's more confident. And right hand. This is really a peculiar thing that I discovered when I teach my students, or I mean, I heard this in so many continents, in so many different performances and competitions or auditions, people playing this. We all know that when the left hand, the music is really growing, right? It's not decaying. But so many students play, like, I couldn't hear the last couple of notes of this phrase. And I wonder why. It's really a very easy fix, but when you know the very basics or the problem behind it, is quite important point to really point out here. Why do students lose their sound when they play this very easy fa mi re do? It has everything to do with the direction of the notes. Right here, the first 6-note group, it goes toward the right. And for the right hand, if we just play with a little help of our wrist, it's naturally towards pointing to the right side, right? But here, it's going to the left side. It's fa mi re do, not do re mi fa. And if it's do re mi fa, it will be much easier, but there won't be a problem like that. So what do? We can still push instead of pulling, right? Because pushing is, I don't know how many times more powerful, but it is. So I can still push towards the right, but then I have to really switch the center of my hand more towards my thumb, instead of doing nothing and just lose the power. And here the same. And a lot of people just totally hear nothing speaks, right? Nothing pronounces, only just barely touching the notes. And of course, that's a big bummer for this heroic section. What's the solution here? Again, we cannot just allow our hand to play these notes while we're moving towards the left side. We have to somehow do it towards the right side. So when we travel from this position to this position, I usually would do it a hair more towards the left and then push towards the right, right? Because when we have this nobody has problem. It's comfortable and it's the right direction, but this one, yeah? So I guess that's really the cure for that part. And here, I hate to call this Hemiola, but really it is a Hemiola in the music and also in the technique. Because if there are 6 note groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right-handed really is having 2 groups of 3 notes. And of course, left hand is in quarter notes, but it's in, if we really calculate it as 8th notes, then it's 2 8th notes per group, and there are 3 groups. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And here, again, the downbeats are not emphasized, right? It's not, but yeah, because the second note in the 2-note slur should be less. And here, we really changed. What changed? The tempo didn't change, but the tempo of harmonic changes really slowed down a lot. Yeah, this right here we change 4 times per measure, so it's kind of urgent. And suddenly we are in G minor, and then we change, I don't know, the first 3 measures. Every note is in the G minor, right? Not even a passing tone. So here we have so much bigger pictures, right? I have to really see this from the back. It's right? Although only this harmonic progression lasted for 6 measures, yeah? And if I don't tell you, you would say, oh, that's the same F sharp. No, it's G flat. And why is that significant? Where the piano, well, if you prove it scientifically, piano doesn't change any note. But if this is other instruments, string winds, F sharp is actually higher than G flat. So F sharp is going towards G, while G flat is going towards, it's resolving down to the F. So the way we treat it is different. Yeah? This is really more energy, has more energy. It kind of has a dark or like a little hopeless feeling in it, a little tragic. And now we're in this F major. Chopin puts morzando and then ritanuto. Everything is suggesting us that the music is coming down, right? It's no longer this kind of ocean-like. Yeah, of course, the harmonic changes really is even slower than these etudes, and it finally comes down, and so we have 7 more notes in F major with the same pedal. Nothing should be new. Yeah, I call this the note hats. Yeah, we have no note hats. And how do we do that? By playing them while we're lifting our arm weight. but this note is different. This note, the F is not part of the dying F major. It's a newborn. And this is one of the most touching, and I don't know if this can I can pick my top 3 favorite melodies by Chopin. This is maybe on top of the list. And here, meno mosso sotto voce, softer, slower. Pianists don't like slow, because the instrument itself is not very slow tempo friendly. If we hold it for too long, then the sound disappears. Of course, on a better piano, it makes a big difference, but in general, still, you can't do a crescendo on one note while holding one note. So we need some tricks. And here, we need the help from our left hand. Of course, left hand is below, right? It's under, it's downstairs. But we still can help it when my right hand is holding something super long. Yeah, that creates an illusion of my right hand doing a crescendo. Now I'm doing this with my left hand doing a crescendo, also with pushing the tempo a little bit. And I can choose. If I want it to be to continue going, or I want to kind of set it down a little. Yeah, so really, left hand has to be proactive. Left hand has to participate, and here right hand is so vulnerable. It depends greatly on how we treat the left hand. I am going to continue teaching this piece next week. But before I stop, on this video, measure 76 is exactly the same notes. Only one change is that Chopin put a rolled chord between the C and F, and we know this is not for practical reason that nobody can reach, that everybody can reach a fourth, a perfect fourth. I think it might be an indication for us to emphasize the lower voice. Yeah, because this is measure 76, measure 85, which we're going to talk about next week. That's the answer of 10 measures later. Yeah, so it's just the motive upside down. Well, it's been a very long video, and I hope you watched towards the end. And like I said, the 4 ballades is another journey that is long, it's the Odyssey. And I will continue next time. I don't know how many episodes I will need to finish even the first one, but I will continue producing these teaching tutorials. Thank you for watching. See you next week.